You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about one of our favorites on this channel, and that's the one and only Jon Gruden. That's right, a.k.a. Chucky. Looks like he may very well be on a path to becoming a coach in the NFL again. I don't know about head coach. He is still in the running. According to a lot of people, Mark Davis is still looking at him as a potential head coach with the Raiders. But I said back in training camp when I did a video on the Saints, having Jon Gruden around the facility, around the players at training camp, helping with Derek Carr and other things involving offensive scheme, that this was the most likely path back to the NFL for Jon Gruden, would be joining the Saints staff in some kind of capacity. I believe what may end up happening here is he's going to end up becoming the offensive coordinator at some point. Then I think Dennis Allen gets fired. And then I think Mickey Loomis, who doesn't give a F, Mickey Loomis, one of the best GMs in the NFL, is going to say, well, Dennis Allen's out. Guess who your interim head coach is going to be? It's going to be Jon Gruden. Okay, I'm just calling the shot right now. I think that's where this is headed, because the Saints are seriously considering adding Jon Gruden right now to this coaching staff. And yes, giving Jon Gruden an official job with an official title. And in large part, look, you can't really make Jon Gruden a quarterback's coach. The resume is too big. The personality is too big. You got to give him something bigger than that, and I think they've found a title for it. This is PFT, and we've got some people on X as well. The Saints are expected to make changes to their coaching staff, and they are considering the addition of a big name to the offensive side. Jeff Duncan of NOLA.com reports that the team has interest in reuniting Jon Gruden with Derek Carr. Gruden would not replace offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael, but have a title such as senior offensive assistant. Interesting. They can give him a pretty good salary with that senior put in front of that. Current Saints head coach Dennis Allen was added to Sean Payton's staff in 2015 as a senior defensive assistant. You see what I'm saying? You see how this starts working out? And replaced Rob Ryan as the Saints defensive coordinator 10 months later. The writing is all over the wall. If they struggle on offense the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, boom. Pete Carmichael out. Jon Gruden elevated to offensive coordinator. May not even take 3 weeks into the season. It may be before the season. Gruden coached Carr with the Raiders for 3.5 years before the team fired him in the middle of the 2021 season. It came after multiple leaks of emails he sent to former Commanders executive Bruce Allen while working for ESPN. Gruden consulted with the Saints during the offseason program and visited training camp this summer. According to Duncan, Gruden met with team officials and attended a team meeting the night before the Saints game against the Buccaneers, Week 17. Wow. He dined with staff, including general manager Mickey Loomis, at a local restaurant. Gruden, who won a Super Bowl with the Bucs, still has a home in Tampa. Gruden has a pending lawsuit against the NFL and Commissioner Roger Goodell, arguing that emails were used against him in an effort to harm his contractual and business interest. Allen would not get into the specifics about changes to the offensive coaching staff when asked Monday, but he said the team would, quote, look at everything. I'm not going into any details in terms of what changes will occur, Allen said, but there's things that will have to be different. I can tell you right now, he's barely hanging on to his job. He's barely hanging on to his job. Yeah, they finished strong-ish, but then you had the blatant, and it is what it is. It's mutiny. It's disrespect when you don't listen to what the coach calls a play of, like Jameis Winston, and you blatantly disrespect his order as a head coach. A lot of fans are calling for Jameis Winston to be kicked off this team. The problem with that is Jameis Winston's very respected in the locker room. And he's the one that supposedly is holding that team together. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you need a lot of new players then if that's what's going on. But you get the point. Mike Triplett, who covers the New Orleans Saints as well, Saints dinner with Jon Gruden in Tampa last week was characterized by sources more as having a friendly relationship than discussing a job, but obviously a lot of connections there with Mickey Loomis, Dennis Allen, and Derek Carr. So possibly can't be ruled out if there's mutual interest in going forward. And in case you're just wondering about Derek Carr, 13th in the league, 3,878 yards. Tied, just 10th. I figured he'd be tied for 10th, but no, just 10th. 25 touchdowns, tied 22nd in the NFL with 8 interceptions. But I don't know that a lot of fans are just thrilled with Derek Carr. And I'm going to tell you from Mickey Loomis's perspective, I would guess, he's sitting back right now thinking to himself, we gave Derek Carr a lot of money. All right, so Derek Carr is going to be our quarterback going forward. We will do whatever we have to do to make sure that Derek Carr can be successful, and that means firing everybody and hiring Jon Gruden if we have to because of Derek Carr's contract. All right, and somehow, some way, when I bring up Jameis Winston, I think he's going to end up in Denver. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know how that's going to work out. I really like Jameis a lot, actually. But I don't know how that's going to turn out because even though you got a lot of fans celebrating it behind the scenes, I think in the organization, look, the leadership with the Saints, coaches, front office, etc., I think they are furious that Jameis made that audible. I mean, mad as hell, right? So I don't know how that's going to go or going to end up going. I don't think it's a monetary aspect of, look, you're just not going to be insubordinate and remain on the team. But maybe he will. Maybe he'll come out the other side. Maybe he'll be fine. I'm going to tell you what oozes off of Dennis Allen to me. A lot like Arthur Smith. He feels a lot like a beta. You know who's not a beta? You know who is probably illustrated in the Webster's Dictionary of it as an alpha male? Jon Gruden. I mean, literally, John's in the house. Everybody is raising up and paying attention. Guaranteed. Tell me what you think. Gruden is getting closer and closer and closer to becoming a head coach again. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.